in this video I think it's time we have a bit of a sort out, because I love having anime figures, I love having Hololive figures on here, but I feel as time goes on we need to start putting the game collection out on display. And while I'm not going to get rid of my figures, I think we can do a little bit of stuff in here. Now, before we go any further, I want to ask you guys, have you done something as a child to your game collection that you regretted years later and want to rectify that mistake? And as we put stuff on the shelves, you will start to understand what I did to my GameCube collection that I am regretting to this day. First things first, we start off with some absolutely fantastic JRPGs, including Skies of Arcadia, Baten Kaitos and Tales of Symphonia. That US one is actually Phantasy Star Online. It is the UK version, or the PAL version, just in a US box. It was a lot cheaper. Resident Evil is an absolutely fantastic series that one I fell in love with on the GameCube specifically. Paper Mario, one that was really expensive but went super cheap, obviously because of the re-release. Fire Emblem, a crown jewel in my collection. Donkey Konga, honestly, I love this series. It's just a fun little one. Just whip out your bongos and give them a good old bashing. Then we got the main ones here. So we've got Resident Evil, we've got Metroid, we've got Kirby Air Ride, we've got F-Zero, we've got the Zeldas, we've got the Mario Parties, we've got Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo is actually a German copy. I got it for about £20 about 12 years ago, and at first I was disappointed, but once I saw the price of it, I was happy. Sometimes you just gotta have them, but yeah. You've gotta have them, but yeah. I'm not overly fussy if it's the wrong language on the box. I want the game. Metroid Prime is another one that I absolutely adore. I never really played much of Echoes. I'm really hoping that the Switch is going to get a re-release of Echoes like Metroid Prime did, but it's not looking like it is. Smash Melee, I spent so many hours on that game, and The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. At first I thought this was maybe a PlayStation box, but no, it's a GameCube one. I managed to get that one super cheap back in the day. Four Swords, probably the most overlooked of all of the Zelda games. It's never had a re-release, but I don't think it's too expensive. We had a summer where me and my friends just played that for just so long. It was an absolutely fantastic blast of a week. But yeah, it was a fun little game. Odama, I wish I had space for Odama. It's a rather bizarre pinball game which you use to blow things. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, a really nice little GameCube collection that I'm rather happy with. But there is some titles missing, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Let's go, amigo! Let's go!
So, I think I've got a pretty decent collection, and you guys are probably sitting there screaming going, where's Luigi's Mansion? Where's Animal Crossing? Where's Mario Sunshine? Why don't you have Double Dash? I do have them, and this is the mistake. I do got them. And a few others. So the big mistake I did was 20 years ago. I was running out of space for games, and me being my idiot self went, oh, I'm not going to sell these games ever. I'll chuck the boxes. If I could go back in time and just punch young me, I would. I've got Animal Crossing, I've got Mario Double Dash, I've got Mario Sunshine, I've got Geist, I've got Soul Calibur, I've got Luigi's Mansion, I've got Sonic Mega Collection, I've got Sonic Heroes, I've got Worms 3D, I've got Fantastic Four. Yeah, there's some really cheap games in there. You know what's coming, don't you? I've got Pokemon XD. I've got Pokemon XD in disc-only form. Thank God that thing's not worth 300 quid. And you know what it is? I never ever chuck out games. I never ever like chuck out cardboard for Game Boy Advance games. But for some reason, me, absolutely young me, just was so stupid and just went, oh, well, I'm not going to sell these games, and just binned the boxes. I've got the manuals, but the boxes, I've got the game, I've got the thing, and when you look at stuff, the boxes are the most difficult part. I could just walk into any shop and buy the game with the box, but if I want just the box only, nah, not happening. And I don't know what went through my mind. Honestly, I have no idea why I thought that would be a good idea ever. Binning boxes, cases for games. And at the end of the day, it's one of those mistakes that has lived with me, because I didn't just do it for that. I did it for PlayStation 2 as well. But the PlayStation 2, at least, the games were Smuggler's Run, Crazy Taxi, Simpsons Road Rage, a lot of like really cheap games. GameCube, they're all expensive games. And I'm so glad that I kept stuff like Fire Emblem, Smash Brothers, Collector's Edition of Zelda, Mario Party. Even then, Mario Party 4. But, yeah, it's one of those things I just can't understand what was going through my mind. I could understand chucking out Game Boy games, like boxes. I can understand that. N64, cardboard, I can understand it. GameCube, why? And it was because I had a little folder to put them in. So I was just like, yeah, they go in the folder. That's it. Absolute stupidity. Honestly, I tell you what. Honestly, I just can't believe it. And I want to know from you guys, what stupid thing did you do? I know we all have stories of being a kid and just binning boxes, binning whatever, or selling games that ended up being worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. At the end of the day, your life is built on mistakes. You overcome them mistakes, you mature, you rectify the mistakes if need be, and that's what I'm going to have to do. It's a very expensive mistake, but at the end of the day, I have them games still. If I want to play them games, I can play them. Yeah, they're not in the boxes, but I still own them, just in a very, very bad condition of, not even condition, a bad version of them. And at the end of the day, let's face it, retro games are also about collecting, but they're also about playing them, and I can still play them, and it was a mistake. It's a mistake that's going to cost me a lot if I want to rectify it, but it is a mistake. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this, leave a like, consider subscribing, and let me know your horror stories in the comments, because I can't believe it. I really can't.